We forget sometimes with our kitchens, I think, how great we have it. I love when somebody that I've never worked with before walks into the test kitchen and their eyes light up because they're
Uh-huh.
so excited about all of the pieces that you
Right.
have out and
Yeah.
that everything looks shiny and new and they love it. So sometimes I love to look through their eyes for the first time and remember how lucky we have it to be able to kind of have all this stuff to work with and play with.
Yeah. But you probably see this too, Nick. They come in saying, "I wanna see X piece of equipment." And you get in there and you're doing your thing, and like you were saying, you're talking to them and asking questions, and all of a sudden you uncover a whole 'nother need that they weren't even thinking about.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, this happened to me the other day. Somebody came in, they needed a ventless solution because they're going into the, basketball arena downtown. And so we're heating up their product and going through everything, and they're liking what they're seeing, and, we're figuring it out. We're doing things a couple of different ways. And then I pulled the chef aside and I'm like, "How much salsa do you guys make?" And he's
Mhm.
telling me, and I'm like, "How do you guys make your salsa?" And he's like, "We got one of those, hand punch things
Yeah,
from
the
I"
punch choppers, they
you
yeah.
know? Right. And I'm like, "Check this thing out," and I point him
Right.
to the food prep, my Hobart food prep machine, and I'm like, "Look, there's this dicing blade and there's this other blade," and it's like, I can do an entire bus tub of salsa in
In minutes.
minute and a half.
Yeah, right.
He's like, "Oh, that's cool. We gotta come back and play with this." They didn't even know that a salsa making machine existed.
Right.
Right. The beauty of having a test kitchen, I think like that piece alone, like we'll get calls. And so this morning, right, I've got somebody here that wanted to look at a griddle. And so we're talking about griddles and what different sizes and different features they're looking for. And then we get to talking about their menu and their food. And then but they're here, right? And so they're looking around like, well, wait a minute. I see this. And they're like, well, do you have a toaster? I was like, well, actually, of the few things that that we don't represent, that just happens to be one of them. I was like, we can toast stuff with some other things, but then they were like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then then they start, the wheels start to turn, right? And they're like, well, wait a minute. We're going to have to replace a dish machine. We're going to have to replace, some other stuff. And they're just rattling things off. And at that point, it's like, all right, well, now we're talking about 5 or 6 different pieces of equipment.
Mhm.
I think for them at first it can be a little bit overwhelming, but then as they see it and they can touch it and like press buttons and turn knobs, it becomes so much more comfortable.
Yeah, and they start to forward think about what it could become.